my channel. My name is Kaitlyn, and if you're new here, I wanted to make a video on some frequently asked questions that I get on my channel or that I get DMs of for interior design. And sometimes they're personal questions based on, my own experience and what I deal with, or sometimes it's just basically about interior design school, the field, the career in general. So I thought I would just compile a lot of the more frequent questions that I get and make this video. If you do have any questions for me that I didn't answer in this video, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to make a part 2, or you can always DM me on Instagram. I love connecting with you guys. It's like the favorite thing that I do. Let's just get into it. I have an iPad here. So first off, if this is the first video that you're seeing, you've never watched any one of my videos before, I am in my Bachelor of Interior Design. It's a 4-year program. It's here in Canada, in BC. I'm actually on Vancouver Island for it. And yeah, it was like the best decision that I ever made. I love my program. I do have a video that talks about the difference between interior decorating and interior design, so if that interests you, I would definitely watch that. I do kind of touch on a little bit of the questions that relate to that video in this one, but for a full in-depth explanation, I would definitely watch that if you're kind of debating between the two. So let's just start off with some of the school questions. So do I need a degree to become a designer? No, you don't. It kind of depends on where you live, and so I would do some research on if you need to be licensed to become an interior designer where you live. I know here in BC you do, so that's just kind of the laws here. I don't think you need to be licensed in some of the states in America. To be honest, I don't know too much how that works, but yeah, for me, I did need a license, and so that meant that I needed to do a 4-year degree program. Honestly, I would have done it anyways, just because the amount that you learn is it's really beneficial. I think so, and you get to explore so many different types of projects. So for me, I would have done it either way. I think there's like diploma programs, and how that would work is then you would work with an architect or somebody who's licensed that would then basically stamp your drawings, and that's how it would work. What courses should I take? So if you're in high school, I would definitely recommend you do some art courses. I didn't, and it honestly prolonged me getting into school and also it limited my choices. A lot of the really good schools that I wish I could have gone to, they were really looking for a strong portfolio, and I didn't have one. And to be honest, at the time when I was in school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do anyways. So if you're in school and you're kind of in those shoes, I would do a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, you do not need to be a good drawer or artistic. That's one of the questions actually. Do you need to be a good drawer? Why can't I say that word properly? Do I need to be a good drawer? No, you don't need to be artistic to be an interior designer. It is something that you will learn how to do, but you don't necessarily need to be great at it at all. But going back to the question of what courses should I take, I would definitely do something artistic, because when applying to school and doing a portfolio, they want to see your creative process. And that is really important, because they want to see how you connect, or how you communicate thoughts into paper, ideas. And our field is very much a communication field. A lot of clients come to us asking for things because they can't necessarily picture it, and if you aren't able to communicate what's in your brain, it's going to be really hard for you and your client to see the picture together and for them to see your vision. And if they can't see your vision, they're probably not going to hire you as their interior designer. So I would suggest doing a lot of artistic classes, whether that be digital or, you know, like an art course or photography, anything that allows you to show your initial idea to just the steps in between to how you got it into the final picture. Is there a lot of math involved? No, there isn't. There's a decent amount, and I think it's pretty basic level. We do a lot of measurements, we do a lot of converting stuff and scaling. There are a little bit of calculations that go with like how many washroom stalls you need to have in a building, things like that, but it's all very basic. So if you're not a math whiz, don't worry, you don't need to be one. I'm not, so it's very easily taught, and I think you'll be fine. What kind of laptop do I need? And this is usually like Mac or PC. Honestly, you can have both. I think it would be easier to get a PC. It's definitely more cheaper, but if you're a diehard Mac person, you can have your Mac. There are ways to have your programs on Mac, like AutoCAD and SketchUp. I just recently worked at an architecture firm for my internship, and their whole firm is fully Mac based, and they don't seem to have a problem. So, you know, if people in the field are doing it, I'm sure you'll be fine, but I would check with your school first. A lot of schools do want you to have certain programs or certain laptop because I think the transferring of files is easier. I don't know, but I would definitely ask your program or your teachers. But if you're just asking me generally, you can work on either. I have a Mac. I have a Mac right here, and I also have a PC. I kind of work interchangeably between both of them, which is really nice. And I think it's really important to be able to use both and know how to work your way with both, because that will make you a really strong candidate when you're applying for jobs. I know that was one of my questions that I had at my interview was, you know, what programs do I use and what systems am I comfortable with, and the fact that I was able to say both was it made me flexible candidate. Do you learn software in school? So software meaning AutoCAD, Revit, SketchUp. Yes and no. Like, you kind of get a little bit of a crash course, but I think it really depends on your school. For my school, when I was doing interior decorating, they did like a tutorial with AutoCAD, and from what I know, the school that I go to now, they didn't do that for them. And when we learned Revit and SketchUp at this school that I'm at now, it was basically like you're on your own. So like your teachers are kind of there to help you, but I don't want to scare you by saying that. It wasn't a terrible process. There was a lot of videos on YouTube and just online that's very, very helpful. So it was a little bit of a struggle, but I think you'll be fine. We all made it. So so to answer your question, yes, kind of, but it's very basic level, and you need to be able to kind of do it on your own as well. And yeah, sorry, I don't know, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't scare you there. Are there many job opportunities in interior designing? Absolutely. Are you kidding? At least from what I know and from what I've heard, absolutely. I feel like there's so many different places that you can work. You can work in interior design, you can work in an architecture firm, you can work for a movie set if you wanted to. Oh my gosh, my camera's flashing. You can work for a real estate agent. There's so many different types of jobs you can do or work at, and there's so many different projects that you can work on, which is insane. You can do restaurants, retail, and I think that that's what makes this field really, really exciting, is that it's not really boring. There's so many different things to work on. I think that's basically the main questions that I get asked a lot. So I hope that kind of helps with like the basic questions. If you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I would love to do a part 2 of this. I will see you in my next video. Bye.